Dear friends, Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. Today I am going to start a new chapter on Nibbana. Chapter about very famous word, Vipassana or Vipassana. Vipassana means insight. So please make it clear, what does Vipassana means? Insight. I am reading this from this book. The book's name is The Way to Nibbana by Venerable Narada Thera, published by Buddhist Cultural Center, Sri Lanka. So I will start this chapter. I have already finished few chapters of this book, which you can watch on other videos, and they all are available on net. So I have already completed chapters on meditation, on morality, on upekha, mudita or mudit, karuna and metta, loving kindness and compassion. So I am reading this about the concept of Nibbana. So the chapter is The Way to Nibbana. Transient are all component things. Sorrowful are all component things. Soulless are all conditioned and non-conditioned. Insight or Vipassana. When the jhanas are developed by temporarily inhibiting the hindrances or nivarana, the mind is so purified that it resembles a polished mirror where everything is clearly reflected in true perspective. Still, there is not complete freedom from unwholesome thoughts, for by concentration the evil tendencies are not temporarily inhibited. They may rise to the surface at quite unexpected moments. Discipline regulates words and deeds. Concentration controls the mind, but it is insight, the third and final stage, that enables the aspirant to sainthood to eradicate wholly the defilements inhibited by samadhi. So it is talking about a kind of stage which is saints or monks, they try to go for that stage. So Vipassana is you will come to this stage only after many years, I would say, because even developing loving kindness, karuna are not easy things. Many people, they participate in Vipassana and then they complain that oh, it is nothing, we haven't learned anything. See, it is not about a matter of learning, it's about a matter of experience. What this book or what the text has done, it has tried to explain the experience, but experience is an experience. You cannot give any textual form to any experience. What teachers do, what Buddhist teachers do, they try to explain, the Buddha tried to explain, other teachers also tried to explain. But now you have to understand that Vipassana is not an easy thing to experience. But still, we should learn about the concepts so that we can understand, and when we practice other things, we can understand that where we are and what would be the later stages. At the outset, he cultivates purity of vision in order to see things as they truly are. With one pointed mind, he analyzes and examines the so-called being. This searching examination shows that he has called I personality to be merely a complex compound of mind and matter which are in a state of context flux. Having thus gained a correct view of the real nature of the so-called being, freed from the false notion of a permanent soul, soul, he searches for the cause of this I personality. He realizes that there is nothing in the world but is conditioned by some cause or causes, past or present, and that this present existence is due to past ignorance, craving, grasping, karma, and physical food of the present life. On account of these five causes, the so called being has arisen, and as past causes have conditioned the present, so the present will condition the future. Meditating thus, he transcend all doubts with regards to past, present, and future. Thereupon he contemplates the truth that all conditioned things are transient, subject to suffering, and devoid of an immortal soul. Whenever he turns his eyes, he sees naught but these three characteristics standing out in bold relief. He realizes that life is a more flux conditioned by internal cause. Nowhere does he find any genuine happiness, for everything is fleeting. As he thus contemplates the real nature of life and is absorbed in meditation, a day comes when, to his surprise, he witnesses an aura emitted by his body. He experiences an unprecedented pleasure, happiness, and quietude, that is, quietness or calmness. He becomes even minded, religious, fervor increases. Fervor means a kind of heat or warmness, increases, mindfulness becomes clear, and insight keen. Mistaking this advanced state of moral progress for sainthood, chiefly owing to the presence of the aura, he develops a liking to this mental state. Soon the realization comes that these new developments are impediments to moral progress, and he cultivates the purity of knowledge with regard to the path and non path. Perceiving the right path, he resumes his meditation in the arising and passing away of all conditioned things. Of these two states, the latter becomes more impressed on his mind, since change is more conspicuous than becoming. Therefore, he directs his attention to contemplation of the dissolution of things. He perceives that both mind and matter, which constitute this so called being, are in a state of constant flux, not remaining for two consecutive moments the same. To him then comes the knowledge that all dissolving things are fearful. The whole world appears to him as a pit of burning embers, a source of danger. Subsequently, he reflects on the wretchedness or wretchedness, wretchedness, wretchedness and vanity of the fearful and deluded world, and gets a feeling of disgust, followed by a strong will for deliverance from it. With this object in view, he resumes his meditations on the three characteristics of transiency, sorrow, soullessness, and thereafter develops complete equanimity towards all conditioned things, having neither attachment nor aversion for any worldly object. Reaching this point of spiritual, see, up to this he has said so many things which you once you cultivate loving kindness, compassion, mudita, and upekha, which you can find about these terms in other videos. Only then, and after doing meditation, and there are a lot of things which I have told in the other videos, only then you can reach to these stages and you can learn about your own experiences. Reaching this point of spiritual, he chooses one of the three, cultivates insight in that particular direction until the glorious characteristic of his object of special endeavor and intently day when he first realizes Nibbana, his ultimate goal. As the traveler by night sees the landscape around him by a flash of lightning, and the picture so obtained seems long thereafter before his dazzled eyes, so the individual seekers by the flashing light of insight glimpses Nibbana with such clearness that the after picture never more fades from his mind. When the spiritual pilgrim realizes Nibbana for the first time, he is called Sutpan, one who has entered the stream that leads to Nibbana for the first time. The stream represents the Noble Eightfold Path. A stream winner is on more a worldling but an Aryan. A stream winner is no more a worldling but an Aryan, that is noble. These nine kinds of insight are collectively termed Patipadan Patipadana Das Navisuddhi, of purity of vision as path of purity. Insight foundation in this supramundane path consciousness is known as Nanadsan Visuddhi. Nanadsan Visuddhi, purity of vision, which is knowledge, the seventh member of the path of purity. Fetters or samyojna. On attaining this first stage of sainthood, he eradicates the following three fetters that bind him to existence, namely Satikaya Ditti, literally view when a group of compound exist. Here Kaya refers to the five aggregates of matter, feeling, perception, mental state and consciousness. The view that there exists an unchanging entity, a permanent soul, when there is a complex compound of psychophysical aggregates is termed Sakya Dhitti. Dhamma Sangani enumerates 20 kinds of such soul theories. Sakya Dhitti is usually rendered as self-illusion, theory of individuality or illusion of individualism. Vichikicha, doubts. They are doubts about the Buddha, the Dham, the Sangh, the disciplinary rules, the past, the future, both the past and the future, dependent origination. Silabatta Paramasa, adherence to wrongful rites and ceremonies. Dhamma Sangani explains it thus: it is a theory that led by ascetics and Brahmins outside this doctrine that purification is obtained by rules of moral conduct and rites. Suttapanna, stream winner. For the eradication of the remaining seven fetters, a Suttapan or a stream winner is reborn 7 times at the most. So he is reborn as 7 times at the most. He gains implicit confidence in the Buddha, the Dham, and the Sangh. He would not for any reason violate any of the 5 precepts. He is not subjected to rebirth in states of woe as he is detained to enlightenment. With fresh courage as a result of these distant glimpses of Nibbana, the noble pilgrim makes a rapid progress and perfecting his insight becomes a Sagadgami or once returner. And second stage of sainthood, the second stage of sainthood by attenuating 2 other fetters, namely sense desires and ill wills. Now he is called the once returner because he is born in the human realm only once. Should he not attain arhatship in that birth itself? It is interesting to note that the Arya saint or noble saint who has attained the second stage of sainthood can only weaken these two powerful fetters with which he is bound from a beginningless past. At times, though to a slight extent, he may harbor thoughts of lust and anger. It is by attaining the third stage of sainthood, that of Annagami or never returner, that is one who never returned to any birth, either in this lok or any other lok, and in this world or any other world, that he completely eradicates those two fetters. Thereafter, he neither returns to this world nor he is born in the celestial realms, since he has rooted out the desire for sensual gratification. After death, he is reborn in the pure adopes, Sudhavas, an environment reserved for Annagamis. There he attains arhatship. Okay, he again reborn and he attains arhatship in that birth and lives till the end of his life. When a layman becomes Annagami, he leads a celibate life. See, celibacy has been given importance here. The Annagami saint now makes his final advance and destroying the remaining five fetters, namely attachment to realms of form, attachment to formless realms, pride, restlessness, and ignorance, attains arhatship, the final stage of sainthood. Stream winners, once returners, never returners, are called Sikhas because they have yet to undergone a training. Arhats are called Asikhas or adepts because they no more undergo any training. An Arhat, literally a worthy one, is not subjected to rebirth because he does not accumulate fresh karmic or karmic activities. The seeds of his reproduction have all been destroyed. So I have completed this chapter. No, it is still there is little more. It is about the Arhat saint. The Arhat realizes that what was to be accomplished has been done. A heavy burden of sorrow has finally been relinquished, and all forms of craving and all shades of ignorance are totally annihilated. The happy pilgrim now stands on heights more than celestial, far removed from uncontrolled passion and the defilements of the world, experiencing the un- unutterable bliss of Nibbana. Rebirth can no longer affect him since no more reproductive seeds are formed by fresh karmic activities. Though an arhat, he is only wholly he though an arhat he is not wholly free from physical suffering, as this experience of the bliss of deliverance is only intermittent, not nor has he yet cast off his material body. An arhat is called an asekha, one who does not undergo training, as he has lived the holy life and has accomplished his object. The other saints from the Suttapati stage to the Arhat path stage are called Sikhas because they still undergo training. It may be mentioned in this connection that Angamis or Arhats who have developed the Rupa and Arupa, that is, Rupa is form, Arupa is formless, jhanas, that is a state of mind, could experience the Nibbanic bliss uninterruptedly for as long as 7 days, even in this life. This in Pali is known as Nirodha Sampati. An Arya or a noble is in this stage is wholly free from pain and his mental activities are all suspended. His stream of consciousness temporarily ceased to flow. With regard to the difference between one who has attained Nirodha Sampati and a dead man, the Visuddhi Marg states, it is the corpse not only in the corpse not only are the plastic forces of the body, that is respiration, speech and mind, stilled and quiescent, but also vitality is exhausted, heat is quenched, and the faculties are clear, although respiration, observation, and perception are stilled and quiescent. According to Buddhism, in conventional terms, this is the highest form of bliss possible in this life. I will start next chapter on what is Nibbana from this book in my another video, where you can understand. See, these things are for saints, those who go for higher stages of learning, higher stages to get a kind of experience which they want, to get free from the life what Buddhism is saying. It is for them. So you just listen it for your education purpose. No need to go into such deep things, but do meditate, do have loving and kindness and compassion and love for all, and metta, that is loving and kindness. Do have these feelings and thoughts in your life. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim. Namo Buddhaya.